Welcome to 500 Doors, your real estate podcast. Speaking with industry experts in real estate buying, selling, planning, developing, wholesaling, investing, financing, and management. If it's real estate, we're talking about it. I'm your host, Kim Hayden, an award-winning 6- and 7-figure real estate agent with over 2 decades of experience. Understanding real estate is a dream for many, that we, real estate professionals, have the ability to bring that dream to reality while building better communities and being the change we want to see. All righty, welcome to the show, Suzanne. I love that name. It's like Suzanne Summers. Welcome. You're down in Florida, correct?
Southwest Florida, yes.
Very cool. Well, I'm here in Calgary, and we just got warm this week, so I'm actually celebrating short sleeves, but I'm still probably the pastiest person you'll meet.
Well, I live in Florida. I'm not far behind you because, I'm always at work, so,
Always at work. All right. Suzanne, give us a little bit of insight as to who is Suzanne.
Well, Suzanne, let's see here. I was born in Scotland, and when I was 3 years old, I moved to Belgium, lived there till I was 17, then moved to the U.S. And when I was 17 years old, my father got transferred to Racine, Wisconsin, and lived in Racine for quite a few years and moved to Southwest Florida about 25 years ago. And I've never looked back, and I just love this area here. It's amazing. We've got amazing weather year round. Yes, it is a little hot for the summer, but we look on the map and we see that other areas are warmer than where we are. So that's basically who I am and where I'm from. But I've owned several businesses throughout my life. I started off out of college. I owned a travel agency. So that then decided to get into the fashion industry, and I was a rep for the Carlisle collection out of New York for almost 20 years, and
Wow.
did trunk shows for high-end designer, and so we used the same fashion mills as Chanel, Armani, and all the big names, and it was directly to the consumer. Then got into I gave up my franchise and wanted a spa. So I opened a spa and then sold that to a physician. And then just over 12 years ago, got into the real estate because I've always been fascinated by the real estate market.
Sounds as if, though, the common thread is service.
Yes.
That customer service, that customer journey.
Yes, exactly. Because, it's, one of the things we've always been good at is putting others first, because when you put others first, you're never second, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you're in Florida. So let's go through a little bit. What is kind of your unique position or your unfair advantage? And I think you just touched on a lot of that. Is that how you serve the client? So, but can you walk through that a little bit and give us a bit of insight as to what's unique about you and your service?
Well, we always we're not transactional based, we're relationship based, which is very important. We have many clients that, where we've helped the parents, the grandparents, now the children. So, so we build that relationship, and a lot of our clients have been referred based to us because of what we do for them. We don't just stop when we close on the deal. That's not when it stops. We keep on going. A lot of our clients, we go out for meals together. We become friends, and I also believe in that. Whenever you put a buyer and a seller together, it's so much easier if you don't have that adversity. That you make it more as a relationship base, because the buyer may want to call on the seller. Hey, where's that switch? Turn this on. And if you can have that relationship and the way we carry our business, it makes it the same way for everybody. Everybody kind of follows our lead in that way throughout the relationship. I've never had an issue with buyers and sellers talking to each other, because if there's nothing to hide, guess what? There's nothing bad that can happen, right? So, so that's what we believe in. Also, what makes us a little different is the name of our brokerage, Your Home Sold Guarantee Realty. And we do have access to a cash offer platform, so we can give our sellers multiple cash offers within minutes. And also, we can use that at an open house when the buyer comes in and say, "Oh my gosh, I love this house, but you know what? I have another house to sell." Well, we've got that solution. We can give them an instant cash offer on the spot, so that they can decide if they want to go ahead with the purchase of the house that they're seeing at the open house.
And you said do you have a team, or like how many people do you work with?
Well, there's 10 of us in the brokerage.
There's 10 of you. So is
10
it
of us.
like,
Plus, we've got a VA, we've got other supports, and other people working. We've got a title company, we've got two in-house lenders, we've got mortgage, we've got name it, we've got it.
you have you have your and that's one of the very first things I tell new agents is build your partners list, your painters, your plumbers,
Mhm.
get all of that. I'm old school. I'm like, have three of everything, right? Just
Yes,
in case.
you've got to. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen if one's on
You
vacation or
never
something.
know. Interview them all. I've had okay experiences with all of these people. However, please interview them. But yeah, having that partners list, that's part of the security of working with a knowledgeable, well-established real estate agent. They've,
Right,
been able to see something go wrong and we know how to fix it, or we know how to circumvent. By the way, we've seen this in previous transactions or
right.
previous sales. Let's avoid that and go this route instead. So, and that's just that expertise. And YouTube, yes, you can get a lot out of YouTube, how to fix a leaky pipe or whatever. But at the end of the day, you can't YouTube your way to being a premier real estate agent. It just doesn't happen. AI is not going to replace that either, right?
No, no,
We
because
may
it's
see
experience.
AI, yeah, we may see AI come in as like aspects, but it's never going to replace the service.
No, you need that human connection, and that's so important, especially whenever you're dealing with people that are older, right? And they're moving into a different home, and they've got all these years, or going into a retirement community, or they just really need that extra touch. They need to know that you're going to be there, but don't worry about it. And being able to answer your phone. And what I find today, very few agents pick up their phone. It just amazes me the number of people where you call and they say, "Well, get back to you next business day." That's not, in real estate, time is of the essence. So you can't have it. Or if you call on a Friday, they'll get back to you on Monday. You know, or the realtors out there, which is pretty popular around here in South Florida, we work Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. Well, let's talk about that. People,
I would have loved to have had that
I know.
schedule.
I
My
would love to
kids
have
would
it
have
too.
loved that.
But here's the thing is, guess what? People usually buying houses, they usually work from 9 to 5 too. So you know what? They want to look at the homes in the evening or on weekends, right? So it's just you never know what you're going to get. I mean, but we're known. We've got, I think, Florida has the third largest count of realtors in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
just
there's
one good
yeah
deal.
that, and I think knowing who's actually a practicing agent and who is a licensed agent, so maybe they can grab a deal every 2 years from their mom or somebody, right?
Exactly.
I think that's really really important to know that who's actually in the trenches, because when I was licensed in 1999, we did our contracts. Well, first of all, there wasn't an internet, so we'd get the weekly listings in a book.
Book. Yep. Yep.
Yep, we'd get the book. Um, and if somebody's coming in and they're just a one-off agent, right? And they just have it because maybe they've, renoed a few houses, so forth and so on. And then their friend goes, "Well, you're a licensed agent." The challenge is there's so many nuances. And right now, especially in real estate, I think we're seeing one of the greatest kind of shifts in
Exactly. Yes.
legalities and responsibilities and things like that. And I think it just and the market itself is fluctuating quite a bit. It's pretty radical in some places, like we've seen in some markets like Dallas. The market went up during COVID, 30-40%, and now it's settling down again. So only a seasoned agent, somebody who is in it full time all day every day, can truly help their client navigate this, because people do better, I find. This is just my personal belief.
Mhm.
I believe our clients do better the more information they have.
Of course. I mean, that's just normal. I mean, it's you need to be armed. You need to know what's going on. And it's just like, do you want to go to the heart surgeon that does open heart surgery once a year, or do you want to go to the surgeon that operates on a weekly, daily basis, right? Because I mean, it's things do change, and just with the changes going on right now, you've got to be able to pivot. And like I've always said to everybody, there's not 2 days that are alike in my
Yeah.
business. I mean, every day there's something else, something new coming up. It's like, oh, but the more that you practice, right, real estate, the more you see and you know how to address that situation, or you know where to go and get the answer for it, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your market. Why, if I had a map out, first of all, tell me all the markets you do serve in
Okay.
Florida, and then tell me why I should move there and be your neighbor.
Well, let's see here. So I service basically from Port Charlotte all the way down to Marco Island. But I really live, and I personally live in Cape Coral, which is, actually the largest city in Southwest Florida. We've got over 230,000 people that live here, and we're going to be built out to around 400,000 people. We're just kind of this little peninsula, but it's big. And if you probably know Cape Coral from Hurricane Ian that hit us a few years ago, but we've really rebuilt. And what we found during this hurricane is, the latest building standards are amazing because the people that have the newer houses and all that, they fared extremely well. So, we're not seeing the blue tarps or anything like that, like we did right after the hurricane, but we're pretty much back to normal. A lot of businesses are open. I mean, even the barrier islands, Fort Myers Beach is doing great. I mean, it's Jimmy Buffett's hotel just opened in Margaritaville, just opened up there. Yes, a lot of the old buildings are gone, but new's going in, and they're going up to the latest standards to be able to withhold and withstand these storms because with the global warming and all that, it's just going to get worse, right? But we don't want to give this up. So Cape Coral, where I live, has over 400 miles of canals. So we're also known as the Venice of United States, and we have 100 miles of these are saltwater, which have access to the Gulf of Mexico. So, for example, myself, I live on the water on a canal, and we can have a boat in the backyard and go right out to the beaches, to Sanibel, Captiva, all the barrier islands from there. So it's just an awesome community. It's spread out. You need to know where you're going because it takes a hot minute to find out because we've got all these canals, right? So you see
Yeah.
where you've got to be, but it's across a canal and you've got to go all the way around the block in order to get there. But great communities. We've got actually Cape Coral in January host one of the largest art fests in the country. So, and that's, yeah,
Oh,
so it's
very
a lot of
cool.
over 250 or something like 300 artists, join us every year. And I'm part of a local Rotary Club, and our job is to sell the beer and wine there. So that's always a lot of fun. People watching and selling beer and wine. What else can, it's just a lot of fun.
Exactly. I think that would be up there with the Forrest Gump. It's like, talking to people and having chocolate, it's
Yep,
like
exactly. Yes.
you never go wrong, right? Never go wrong. What's a hidden gem? So we just talked about this amazing event in January. What's a hidden gem that you even tell locals and they go, I had no clue that was there. That's so cool.
I mean, there's so many different little gems here. I mean, it's so one of the areas I love going to is down to Tarpon Point Marina. Tarpon Point, that's where there's a Westin down there, but there's some little restaurants and boutiques down there that a lot of people don't know about because unless you go down, they think it's just a boat marina. It's just a marina, but one of my favorite boutiques is down there, and it's called The Look. And one of the great things they do is you go in and you have a glass of champagne while you're shopping. So that's a lot of fun.
Okay, when I come down, that's where we're going, Suzanne.
Yes,
'Cause,
yes,
yes,
it's
I
a
do
lot
like
of
my
fun.
bubbles. I do like my bubbles.
Well, who
So,
doesn't, right?
so I want to. So we now have a great place to visit. You know who to call if you're coming to the area, and we've learned about an event. Like this is like there's been lots of gems dropped, right? And I'd like to drop a gem for new agents. or agents maybe who only been in the business 2, 3, 4 years, because we have shifted so much in just the last few years in this business. What could be some of your advice to these agents for their survival?
One of my advices is don't always look at what your pay is going to be, right? 100% agent brokerages are probably okay for somebody with a lot of experience. But if you're starting out brand new, you need a broker that's going to be there to back you up. A number of times, the brokers are not even available. So we pride ourselves in our brokerage where we host weekly meetings, of course, but we have over a university, on-demand university with over 250 hours of videos and training to teach you how to do a listing presentation, buyer's presentation, and then we can role play these things with them. So it's really to go, to be able to know where the resources are. Because, we
Exactly.
see contracts come in from new agents where half of the stuff is missing and where the broker hasn't even looked at. One of the things we do is before you send out a contract, I want to look at it. Or, my daughter, who's my office manager, who's also licensed, she needs to look at it. We want to make sure that there's quality control going out of our office.
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah. Hmm.
Consistency.
Yeah.
I That's awesome, and that is why people pay for real estate representatives,
Yes.
right? People can do, we have so many options out there. You can do for sale by owner, you can, go through like a Zillow type of product. There's so many different, I don't think Zillow is Zillow still in frontline real estate, or
I
has it gone back to just a service product?
It's just a service, I believe, but they do have they did buy showing time, so they do
Yeah.
have showcases and everything like that. But they
Because
do,
at one point in time, they were coming on wanting to open brokerages. I remember when
right.
they came
And
to
I think they
Canada, and
stopped that. Yeah.
that went south. And that's, I think, the big thing that people have to understand is that there's a lot of stuff always moving in real estate. The
Yes.
legalities, the building codes, you know, it's always moving. And that really is ensuring that your legacy is protected. What is your children's legacy worth?
Oh, exactly. Because I mean, it's number one is most expensive item that they usually will buy is the real estate. But one of the things that we noticed right after Hurricane Ian, the tax department, tax collector, went in and put what property values because we had a rule for rebuilding. You had to meet that 50% threshold. Well, a lot of people did not go and pull. A lot of realtors didn't even know about these letters, and everything was nicely spelled out to you for us and for the consumer and everybody. But if, we know, well, I know of a friend of mine who bought this house for a different realtor who was not aware of the 50% rule. And what happened is they went in, ripped everything out of a house, nice house and everything else, but wanted to rebuild prime property right on the river. And guess what? They can't do anything. They can't move on with the remodeling. All the permits were pulled. They have got one option is to tear the house down and rebuild from scratch now because they were not aware of the amount of remodeling they can do in 1 year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was
And that,
over $1 million mistake. Plus,
yeah.
the other money that he spent ordering windows and everything else for the house. So you really need to know. You need to have an expert going in there and just say, "Hey, by the way, if you're buying this house, great, but this year, I know you want to put in new windows and new doors and everything else, but just take it easy this year. Just do this. Then a few years from now, you can add this, but don't go and do it all at once."
Almost creating that roadmap to
Yeah,
successful homeownership.
exactly.
And that's
Yes.
that's really, your real estate agent is your tour guide,
Right. Hmm.
and
Yeah.
let's make sure you get there on time and you get to the right location. Super, super important. I want to close this out. What does community mean to you?
Well, we've been very part of the community for a long time here. So one of the things we do in our brokerage is we are part of the Shop of the Cop program. So every year at holiday time, our brokerages provide the meals for up to 40 families, and we supply every kid goes home with a holiday meal to their family. So it could be turkey, ham, with all the fixings, desserts, and everything. So, and we've partnered up with the police department to do that. We're also part of Rotary. and the local food bank we help out. And one of the so we believe in worthy cause marketing also. And one of our things that we do, part of each transaction, we donate 10% to one of our charities of our income. So that does help the community. We also participate in cleanups at the local park. So we do a lot of different things in the community. So we want to be front and center.
That's amazing. And community agents are the backbone to a community. I don't think people realize how many hours of work and support and financial dollars that real estate agents will put in. If they're a community-based real estate agent, that's what they're doing. They are investing in their community, both time and money.
Well,
Um,
exactly. I mean, one of the things I was just sharing here is because of our relationship with the police department, one of our clients, her husband has dementia, and he went and he parked somewhere and didn't remember where he parked, and ended up getting a ride home from somebody, and with the keys. And so she had no clue where the car was. And I mean, we've got miles and miles of roads here, so I mean, it's so I was able to contact the police department this morning, gave them the tag of the car, and put out a bolo basically for be on the lookout for it. And we found it, and it actually happened to be close by to where I live. So my husband went over and made sure that it was the correct car and everything, and we contacted so the wife could come and pick up the car. But it's it's having these contacts. Who do you contact in these kind of situations? Because I mean, we all have issues sometimes in life, and then be able to be the resource for them. That's great.
that is why I got my license back in 99,
Yeah.
is being the space and the place for people to connect.
Yeah.
And I love that. I
Why
absolutely
did you-
love that. I love that. Suzanne, can you run us through all of the ways that we can contact you? So starting with your website, and can you also spell it out? Give us the pronunciation and spell it out for us, just in case somebody's only listening, that
Okay.
they know exactly how to do it.
Okay, so my website is www.vasbinderinternational.com. Vasbinder is spelled V as in Victor, A-S, B as in boy, I-N, D as in dog, E-R, international. And let's see here. You can also find me on social media under Suzanne. That's Suzanne with a Z, Vasbinder. We're also on LinkedIn. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
And the name of your company is?
Your Home Sold Guarantee Realty, Vasbinder International.
Amazing. Okay, folks, you need somebody down there. You need somebody who actually is speaking your language, of supporting you through this journey of home ownership and building your real estate legacy. Reach out to Suzanne. Suzanne, you are truly what we all should aspire to be. Thank you for supporting your community.
Thank you, Kim.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us at the 500 Doors, Your Real Estate Podcast. Be sure to join our Facebook group at Real Estate Success with 500 Doors. Keep on watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, because we all know sharing is caring.